Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Thursday, the 9th of December 2021. A lot going on today, some heavy stuff and some not so heavy stuff. First, with the heavy stuff, we have this. Millwall issue a statement following government announcement. The government announced that they are moving into Plan B because the Omicron variant is causing a lot of positive COVID tests, and they're trying to stamp it out. Even though the Omicron variant, not one single person has died in the whole world from the Omicron variant, as far as I'm aware. That was the case a couple of days ago. A couple of days ago it was 0. So let's have, what do they say? So Millwall Football Club notes the government's announcement to implement Plan B COVID restrictions from next Wednesday, the 15th of December. As the club has maintained throughout the pandemic, it will never introduce any restrictions beyond what is mandated by the government. These new restrictions unfortunately mean that proof of a negative lateral flow test result or vaccination certification will be a condition of entry to matches both home and away until such time as regulations are changed. While the club is frustrated at the logistical and financial impact these measures will have for the fans and club alike, it will be required by law to carry them out. It is not the club's choice, and we therefore ask supporters to work with staff to ensure compliance and to minimise inconvenience for all concerned. For clarity, you do not have to be fully vaccinated in order to attend matches. Proof of a negative lateral flow test, which is good practice to help ensure the health and safety of everyone, will suffice. The club will release further guidance, including details for under 18s, as and when exact guidance and regulations have been communicated by its local safety authorities. The absence of supporters prior to this season had an immeasurable negative impact, and the club's primary focus is on doing all it can to ensure fans can continue to attend matches both at the Den and away from home. With that objective in mind, the club again asks for patience and understanding from supporters while these measures are legally enforceable. A further update will be issued in due course. So what's going on? What is going on? Well, let's find out. So this is from gov.uk. Prime Minister confirms move to Plan B in England. So you're not only that, so you have to use NHS COVID Pass. NHS COVID Pass to be mandatory in specific settings using a negative test or full vaccination via the NHS COVID Pass. Now, I believe that is an app that you need to have on your phone. What if you don't have a phone like that has apps on? What if you have a normal phone, a kind of Nokia style phone, like the one back in the day? What if you don't even have a mobile phone? Tough shit, I guess. So, blah de blah de blah. So they even says here, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? There is something. Here. From Wednesday the 15th of December and subject to parliamentary approval, the NHS COVID Pass on the NHS App will be mandatory for entry into nightclubs and settings where large crowds gather. So you need to use this app. It's not, you can't just show that piece of paper that they give you. Apparently, I haven't partaken of any vaccinations, so I won't fucking know. But yeah, so you need to use that app. including unseated indoor events with 500 more attendees, unseated outdoor events with 4,000 more. So that's like a race course or something like that. And any event with 10,000 or more attendees. So the club, Millwall, they could set up home games for 10,000 people to attend. But then if you're looking at staff as well, now I don't know how many staff they have, probably 100, 150 per match day, probably. So that they get 9,000, and then you're looking at away fans. You asked away fans not to come. Now it's a bit short notice for Preston North End fans. I mean, they've already got their train tickets or something like that. And the Swansea fans as well. I mean, they probably already sorted out their travel. But the club, the last game, the Birmingham game, we had 14,000. So you could drop out. What you'll basically be doing, I think, is season ticket holders only, more or less, and then very limited amount of other tickets, which you could probably use on the for the away fans and for the staff. So they could do that. But is it worth going through all this freaking hassle just for like 4,000 more people? Or here's the thing. With all this nonsense going on, will 4,000, well maybe not 4,000, but will 2,000 people say, yeah, fuck this, I'm not getting involved in all this fucking shit. I'll stay at home and listen to it on iFollow. Or watch it. I don't know if the Boxing Day game will be on iFollow to watch. It's on a Sunday, so technically it could be, but I don't know. Yeah, so will enough people just drop out anyway? Then the club can just drop it down to a certain number. They could drop it down to under 10,000 and they wouldn't have to bother. But it's up to them. I guess they didn't mention any in their statement. They didn't mention any issue of numbers or whatever. So I imagine they're still probably trying to figure it out. But it's not going to be a good thing. So a full list of guidance on these changes will be available on gov.uk in the coming days. Face covering regulations will be laid in Parliament tomorrow, with the remaining regulations laid on Monday the 13th of December. Parliament will debate the measures next week, with a vote expected to take place on Tuesday the 14th of December. The government will keep the data under constant review. The regulation set to expire 6 weeks after implementation, with a review after 3 weeks. So this is set to go on until the end of January. So what does that entail? So that's the FA Cup game with Crystal Palace in the firing line. So the games affected will be, it's not going to be the next game against Peterborough. That's before all this nonsense comes in. So if you're one of the 2,365 Millwall fans who grabbed up a ticket for that, well done. You got in there just before all this fucking crap started out. But it will affect the Preston North End game at home. It will affect the Swansea game at home on Boxing Day. It will affect the Coventry City away game on the 29th of December. It will affect the Bristol City away game on the 2nd of January, 1 o'clock kickoff. It will affect the Nottingham Forest home game on the 15th of January. It will affect, of course, the Crystal Palace at home FA Cup third round tie on the 8th of January. But we have news about that later on, which you probably already know about. But it will affect the Blackpool away on the 22nd of January. it will affect Millwall at home to West Bromich Albion on the 29th of January. So those are games that will be affected, and then the game after that, which hopefully they'll knock it on the head by then, will be Millwall at home to QPR, which is usually a decent atmosphere for that. Although I think the last couple of ones have been midweek games, so this is actually on a weekend at 3 o'clock kickoff. So there you go. But here's the thing: we have a chance. It hasn't even gone through. They need to have a vote on it in Parliament, but because the opposition isn't actually opposing anything, they all agree. The Uni Party, two cheeks of the same arse, left wing, right wing. Apparently, they're supposed to be different. Labour and Conservatives, they're all the fucking same. And they look at the opinion polls, and apparently, all of the people who vote in opinion polls want this shit to carry on. They probably want to go back on furlough so they can sit on their asses at home getting paid to do jack fucking shit like they have been for most of the last couple of years. And what can you do? It seems utterly ridiculous that we now have what we were waiting for is a variant of COVID which is not killing people. Now, is it making them sick? I don't know. But apparently it's a mild sickness. According to the South African doctor who discovered it, it's mild and nothing to worry about. And apparently no one in the world has died from it or died with it, because they were doing they're just testing random dead people, like someone who died in a motorbike accident, and if they had COVID, they say they died with COVID. But no one, even with that specious sampling system that they have, they couldn't get someone who's died of Omicron. Now maybe it's too early, but if this thing's spreading like wildfire and no one's died yet, then what's the problem? This is what we were waiting for. This is a variant that spreads quickly and isn't harmful, and it will give people natural immunity to other variations of the disease. So instead of actually putting in more restrictions, they should go the other way, and they should actually ban people from wearing face coverings. They should stop any restrictions whatsoever, social distance, anything. Force people to go back to normal so they can catch this more weaker variant of COVID, so we can all live free and live happily ever after. But that doesn't seem to be happening, because logic is out of the window and we live in a world of emotions. Anyway, I'm fucking bored of all that shit. Moving on. So, Crystal Palace game that is set to be affected by those restrictions. Luckily for us, it's been selected for ITV. So, whatever the club decide to do now, like I said, with the 10,000 restrictions, I'm sure the Met Police would be happily glad if Millwall said, Millwall and Crystal Palace came together and said, just Millwall season ticket holders and 500 Palace fans because of COVID restrictions. I'm sure they would love it, because it would suck all the aggravation possible out of it and just damp it all down. But it's been selected for ITV, so it's gonna be on television, and it's gonna be on Sunday, I believe. Or is it Saturday? I don't know. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk, the South London Press's online website, and they say Mill's FA Cup third round tie against Crystal Palace has been selected for TV coverage. The South London rivals will pair together in the draw on Monday night. ITV will screen the match on January 8 at 12:45 p.m. The match is expected to sell out. Palace will have an away allocation of 2,200. The lower tier of the away end will not be open. Oh yeah, they can't do it. They can't do that, can they? They have, because it's FA Cup game, the away fans are mandated a certain section of the certain percentage of the tickets. So yeah, they can't do that, can they? The winning club collects £82,000 in prize fund money. Shouldn't that be fund prize money? The last time Millwall and Palace played each other was in April 2013, also at the Den. In a 0-0 draw, the Eagles went on to reach the Championship playoffs and beat Watford 1-0 at Wembley in the final. Wrong. The last time we played was at the Den in a friendly. I think not this. So last season, at the start of last season, we played Southend, and then we played Crystal Palace, and we lost 1-0. I watched it on iFollow, I believe. Did watch it live, but the last competitive game was in 2013, so nearly right. So there you go. The game is on ITV, which is fantastic. If you don't want to have to deal with any of this fucking bollocks that's going on. So that's one game that you'll be able to see without going to the ground. So here you go. Who's this fella? He's staring. He's got daggers in his eyes. This is apparently a player we have been linked with. This is also from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Millwall boss asked about transfer link to exciting Arsenal attacker Folarin Balogun. Mill manager Gary Rowett has responded to recent transfer speculation linking the Championship side with Arsenal's highly rated forward Folarin Balogun. The Lions, Swansea, Bournemouth and Sheffield United have all been mooted as admirers of the 20-year-old who has represented England at under 21 level. There has been speculation that Balogun could be allowed to make a loan exit in the January transfer window. Rowett told the South London Press, "Our recruitment team will make inquiries for any good young striker out there. Whether those inquiries go any further or come to the point where the player is available, I don't know. There is always going to be that speculation most of the time away from my desk. We'll look at players, and we're looking at quite a few players at the moment. We haven't decided exactly what we're going to do in the next window. It's always quite fluid at our club. It's a nice problem that the forwards are starting to find a little bit more form and starting to perform to a much higher level with more regularity. If that continues up until the window, then perhaps there will be less of a need to sign a player in that position. But if you ask any club at any point and whether they are top, middle or bottom of the league, what any team wants, then they'll want more goals. Every team and every manager will be after a striker of some sort. There will be a lot who don't get the one they want because they are not easy to find. We're happy with the squad. I expect a little bit of movement in January, and therefore it might open up the opportunity for us to strengthen one or two areas, not just for January, but with the summer in mind as well. There are a few loans and out of contract players. There might be a little bit more movement with those in the next couple of windows. You always have an eye on that." So he's not really said anything there, has he? But apparently he was linked with this geezer. We were linked with him before, earlier in the week. But it's like half the Championship has as well. So it seems that Arsenal are trying to find a Championship club for him to go to. And it's up to him to decide where he's going to go. And it's a shame that Ballard's out, because I don't know if they know each other. But they're both from Arsenal, so we will see. I don't know. We will see. Is he going to be a good loan signing, or is he going to be a Troy Parrott loan signing? You never know, do you? You never know. You never know what you're going to get. So, talking of strikers, Millwall. So this is also from londonnewsonline.co.uk. 3 in a row from them. Millwall expected to open contract talks with informed striker. Millwall manager Gary Rowett is expecting formal contract talks with Tom Bradshaw to commence soon. No shit, he can start speaking to other clubs from January, so although will they want to speak to him? The 29-year-old striker is in his fourth season with the Lions, but is due to be a free agent at the end of June. The Lions triggered a 12-month extension on his terms in December 2020. Bradshaw has played 105 matches for the South Londoners and scored 19 goals. Jeez, that's not very good, is it? He has netted in back-to-back championship matches. Last season, we waited until the back end of the season for negotiations with players because a lot of things could change, Rowett told the South London Press. Tom has performed really well and got back into the team. He has performed with a little bit more freedom and tried to enjoy himself more on the ball, not put too much pressure on himself. Bradders is a great lad. He comes in every day with a smile on his face, whether he is in or out of the team, and trains really well. Whatever I ask him to do, he will do it. Those type of players are really valued as a manager. I've briefly spoken to Tom about his future, but that hasn't been formalised with the club. I expect at some point we'll sit down and have a look. Yes, and like I said in a video a couple of days ago, looking ahead to the summer transfer window, we're going to have Bodvarsson gone. He's not really doing anything anymore. Bradshaw's out of contract. Matt Smith's out of contract. Benicophobe's going back to Stoke when his loan runs out. Who's a striker? Who should we bring in? 3 new strikers? That'll be fun. That will be fun. And I said, no, I would imagine they would renew Bradshaw. Probably let Smith go. And then probably they'll probably try and do a deal with Benicophobe, but I doubt they can make it happen. So yeah, we're going to have a lot of players out of contract, and we're still going to need to find players to put out a team. Moving on to this. This is actually from news@den.co.uk, and I think this is from their interview. They did a long form interview with Danny McNamara, and I think they've been dripping bits out from it. So this is from probably from that. Millwall's Danny McNamara has contacted from Ireland, but knows he must nail down a Lions place. Danny McNamara is on Republic of Ireland boss Stephen Kenny's radar for next year, but the Millwall defender knows he must nail down a first team place to fulfil his international dream. McNamara, 22, was given his Ireland under-21 debut by now senior boss Kenny. The next international break is in March, and there will be friendly games, and the next Nation League starts next June. Kenny had a difficult start to his Ireland reign, not winning first competitive game until the 13th outing, but he's been building for the future, including playing former Millwall lone player midfielder Jason Malumbi, who was McNamara's captain in the under-21s. McNamara missed 6 weeks through injury this season, then went another 6 weeks without a start as Ryan Leonard was preferred at right wing back. But with Leonard out, McNamara is back in the side and determined to keep his place and earn a senior international call-up. To be fair, in the last couple of months I've been in and out of the Millwall squad a bit with injury and stuff. McNamara said when asked if he has been in consideration by Ireland's senior management. I've had a bit of contact with Stephen and his scouts, so we have been chatting. Hopefully if I can secure my position in the Millwall team and keep playing every week, then next year there might be some good news for myself and my family, but I have to keep playing well for Millwall, and then we'll see what happens. Yes, and it would be fantastic if we did get in the Ireland national team, but you need to earn that kind of thing. It's not at that level. There's no charity. They're not giving anything out, and even then, so you're playing for the under-21s. Even if you're like a superstar in the under-21s, there's no guarantee that you're going to move up to the full team, because if there's a pro who's established in the senior squad who's playing in your position, then you might have to be sitting it out. But we will see. Hopefully he gets a chance. Hopefully if they get a friendly against some kind of team that ain't that good, he can come in and prove himself, and we'll see what happens. So there's that. Moving on now, this is also from news@den.co.uk. So we're expecting injured players to be coming back, but it's just not happening. So what's happening? So Millwall winger are doubt for the festive schedule as recovery is taking longer than expected. Conor Mahoney is a doubt to be available for Millwall's festive fixtures as he makes slow progress after a hamstring injury. Mahoney, 24, went off at half-time in Millwall under-23's 4-4 Professional Development League draw at Ipswich Town on November 22 and was expected to miss only around 2 weeks. However, the former Bournemouth winger has yet to resume full training. Millwall play Peterborough this Saturday and then Preston a week later before 3 matches in a week over Christmas and New Year against Swansea, Coventry and Bristol City. Mahoney's last game for Gary Rowett side was the start in the 1-1 draw at Nottingham Forest on September 25. Rowett asked if Mahoney could be back for the festive schedule. Rowett said possibly. It was sort of a 10-day injury. It's quite innocuous, but in a minute Connor is making really slow progress. If we can try and accelerate that and push through, then potentially so. But it's a difficult one to know because at the moment he's just got out on a training pitches, but he's not really working to any sort of level that would suggest that he's ready to come back in soon. Rowett has plenty of options in midfield and intact for the game against Posh. George Evans scored his first goal of the season in a 3-1 win over Bromich City last weekend and could keep George Saville out of the starting 11. Evans has scored only 2 goals for Millwall since joining from Derby last January, though he has also played in defence, but Rowett believes he could be more of a threat in the opponent's penalty area. I look at the likes of Sav, Evo and Billy. They are technically good players. Mikkel Geftenbeld also, Rowett said. Evo is one in training in front of goal who's got a little bit of composure about him. He's got 2 really good feet, and his challenge is he's got to go and affect games without a Billy. And I thought he did that on Saturday. He showed a really good response to being out of the team, albeit some of it was through injury and then not getting back in. He showed a good response, and that's all he can do. He scored a good goal and capped off an excellent performance. Here. So no Conor Mahoney is not. It's not happening for him, and he's running out of time. Will we let him go Will we let him go in January? Will we let him go at the end of the season? Cost a lot of money, he did, but hasn't happened, has it? Really hasn't happened. So, in light of all the restrictions coming in for possibly for the Preston North End game, Swansea City games, Coventry away game, and other games, just wanted to remind you that tomorrow there's supposed to be. There was a lot of rain today, so I don't know. I hope it's still going on because they've published this on the official site. This is millfc.co.uk. Millwall under 23s versus Cardiff City. They put it on the. They were selling tickets before kickoff. It's had 500 views. So Millwall under 23s take on Cardiff City at the Den on Friday, 10th of December, and tickets for the Professional Development League Encounter kick off at 12:30 are now on general sale. Tickets are priced at £5 adults and £1 under 16s. Under 16 season ticket holders are free of charge. So there you go. If you've got a wheelchair or you're disabled, you can call that number and they'll sort you out. But you can just walk up tomorrow and just buy a ticket and then go to the ticket office, buy a ticket, and then walk to the side and go into the exec lounge, and then through there you can go up into the seats. And this will be your last opportunity to go to a game at the Den without any COVID pass restrictions on you. So this is it. This is it for the next 6 weeks, apparently. And apparently Tyler Burr is set to play. He's coming back from injury. So, and it's against Cardiff City, who are absolutely fantastic this season at this level. They are unbeaten. They 100% won all their games. Only conceded 5 goals. So, if Mill can get anything from this game, it will be a really, really good performance. So, and we hope that they do. So there you go. That is it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.